What's happening, big dogs? We are back at you again with another episode of Market Watch Mondays. I've been recording all day, so I'm freaking exhausted, but we know we got to stick to the schedule. So here we are. Got a lot of stuff to cover today. Some big news broke this week. But before we get to that, you know what it is. Got to hit that intro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, so a couple of big pieces of news today I want to talk about, which really has a lot of impact on the value of a couple of key players. The first one being Derrius Guice, the Twitter darling himself, was charged with domestic violence recently. So Redskins wasted no time in dropping him from the team. Right now, it's still a little bit unclear what exactly happened. I mean, obviously, if what the allegations are saying are true, chances of him coming back in the league are super low, but we just don't know right now. NFL has pretty much a zero tolerance policy when it comes to this subject matter. So what it means, though, in the meantime, is Geis is gone. He's got no team. He cleared waivers today, and I think that this is a pretty good opportunity to throw out some feelers. You know, this entire segment is based on applying like certain financial concepts and game theory to fantasy football. And one of the key exploits that I found during my time of playing is to really bet on what I call like catastrophic or cataclysmic events, something that's like super low percentage of happening, but when it happens, you make a massive return. And the most recent example of that would be like Tyreek Hill. When he went through his struggles off the field, people basically assumed that he had no chance of coming back to the NFL ever again. And I think that's one of the fallacies that people have is, they try and deal in like absolute. So it's like they take the most likely outcome and assume that's going to be the absolute case. Whereas in reality, there is a range of outcomes that can happen and there's various percentages attached to each. It's up to us to kind of make that assessment and figure out what the likelihood is and what the cost is and weigh the risks and rewards. So if you cash in on Tyreek Hill at some of the low purchase points, I've seen them being sold for like second round picks. I've seen them being sold for third round picks, even, or like just lesser wide receivers. When he came back, you obviously cash in huge because that's, my dynasty wide receiver one, but easily a top three wide receiver for anyone else who doesn't have him there. And I think this is like one of those same scenarios where we don't know what's going to happen, right? The most likely scenario is he's never going to touch football again and, big waste of talent, yada, yada, yada. But on the off chance that he does see the field again, he'll probably be on a better team because there aren't that many teams out there that are worse than the Washington Redskins. And if the team is willing to take a chance on him, let's say Seattle Seahawks, I guarantee you'll be able to flip him for a first round pick if that scenario plays out. So if you're able to get guys for, I saw him being sold for a third, like immediately after news yesterday. That's probably a knee-jerk reaction. But if you can get him for like a third plus maybe like a wide receiver 3, 4, maybe one of those like high upside, like late round wide receivers that people are a fan of, maybe like a third plus, Chase Claypool. If people love Chase Claypool, I would easily smash that, right? If you can get him for a couple of third round picks, if you can get him as a toss in, like where he's like kind of valued as like a second round pick, but less than a second round pick, but more than a third, like that range of a toss in pick, I think I'd absolutely do that trade as well because the upside is there, right? We don't know what the upside on the production side is because he's been hurt the entire time. We saw him in college, but more importantly, we've seen the upside in his value. Like the Geist truthers are everywhere, so you can capitalize on that 100% if it happens. So that's kind of been my approach to the Geist situation. It was the same approach I took to Antonio Brown. Yeah, just all these like low likelihood, high upside scenarios that you should be shooting for and that most people are scared to shoot for are the ones you should be going for because that's like the contrarian part of the game where you have a ton of upside, but low likelihood of hitting. And along those same lines, his running mate, Antonio Gibson, someone who's been a big dog favorite from the get go. We had him as, I think, our RB6 before the NFL draft even happened. So we put our stamp of approval on him early. Obviously, this opens things up for him quite a bit because we all thought, even myself included, that Geis was going to lead that backfield. And there really was no question about it. So having the lead guy kind of get moved out of the picture opens up a lot of opportunity for Antonio Gibson. Is he going to be the lead ball carrier? I'm not sure. I think that'll probably still be Adrian Peterson to a degree, but he's definitely going to get some upside from the opportunity, right? I don't think it makes any sense to say now that Geis is gone, it does nothing for Gibson's upside, which is what some people are trying to push. I don't really get that at all. But at the same time, you really got to understand the risk reward. Again, like if now we're at a point where like Gibson is going to probably be at peak hype, right? I think, right now per Fantasy Mojo, Gibson is probably going in the 120s, I believe, in like the 12th round or so. But if we look at where Guice is going, he's going at around pick 80 or so. So basically back part of that 6th round right now. Pick 84 going at 7.9. Sorry, back out at 7th round. So if you're in one QB leagues, that's probably closer to like a 6th round ADP. I would expect Gibson to probably jump up to that spot, if not a little bit higher. And if that happens, I'm probably out on Gibson for redraft just because, in that range, I'd much rather grab some starting wide receivers than really try and shoot the upshot on Gibson. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked at all if he kind of climbed to that 4th round, 5th round ADP, like, peak like Raheem Mostert hype. Gibson is a much better receiver and has a lot more upside in the receiving game than someone like Raheem Mostert. So, I would not be shocked at all to see him kind of jump into that value range from a redraft perspective. And at those prices, it's just too much risk for me. I'd much rather go somewhere else. So I'm not going to have any of him in redraft. But in Dynasty, it's also another question, right? Like, I think you're going to get a lot of knee-jerk reactions, where people are paying up 2021 first for Antonio Gibson. They're probably paying up more prolific profiled wide receivers, someone like T. Higgins, Laviska Shenault. You can probably get Laviska Shenault or T. Higgins plus for Antonio Gibson. I think that's a reality right now. And if those offers are on the table, I implore you to please explore them and take those offers as they stand, because as much as I love Antonio Gibson, he does have question marks, and the risk profile there is not as good as someone, in my opinion, as like a Laviska or like a T. Higgins. So if you can pocket that profit, that's what it's all about. Look, we told you to get on him early, and hopefully you did, and you got him in like that late 2nd round, that 3rd round pick, to immediately flip that 1 or 2 months later for a 1st round pick or a high 2nd round talent. Plus a little bit something on the end, I think is a huge W. And these little moves, not even little, these big profits that you're taking are gonna really pay off in the long run. I myself am gonna start exploring selling some Gibson shares just to see what's out there, and if you can get something that's good, I definitely implore you to take it. Now, the next thing I really want to talk about is, I'm recording this right now on Sunday night for you guys. News broke today that the Big Ten season is basically canceled, and I'm gonna expect the rest of the big conferences kind of follow suit, because the Big Ten is one of the biggest conferences, right? That's where a lot of the best talent comes from. That's where J.K. Dobbins comes from. That's where Justin Fields is. That's where Ohio State is, obviously. So I think you're gonna see like other conferences kind of follow suit. But what I've seen recently in Twitter is like a lot more of the same fear mongering that we saw with COVID take place with 2021 picks. I'm seeing people say, look, you might have to fade the 2021 class because, these players opt out and they might not get the draft capital. They might not have the talent. They might not yada, yada, yada. Stop. Just fade that noise completely. I promise you this. If there's one thing for certain in fantasy, it's that rookie picks from now until rookie draft season are going to accrue value. And I'm so confident in that because it's just part of the human psyche, right? Like the human psyche has not changed. And no matter whether it's COVID, whether there's opt-outs, whether there's, all these different things that are going around, the human psyche will not change. And the new shiny toy syndrome will always be there. Because come draft season, people are going to start digging up tape and digging up highlights on some of the top prospects. They're going to start showing you national championships games from Trevor Lawrence. They're going to show you the big runs from Justin Fields. They're going to show you the massive catches from Jamar Chase. They're going to show you the stats, the prolific stats from the freshman season of Rondale Moore. All of these top prospects are still going to be there. They're going to show you that breakaway 90-yard run from Travis Etienne. Right, I just listed basically half of your top the 1st round, and if anyone thinks that these prospects are going to lose value because of a missed college season, they are sorely mistaken. And I think you need to capitalize on that. And I'm personally going to be buying up all the rookie picks I can. And I praise a lot about hoarding rookie picks and startup drafts. I think it's the cheapest time you can get it. I think because of what's happened with this season, this like unicorn, high variance season, you're going to be afforded another opportunity to buy, and it's going to be now. And I would definitely start sending out some of those feelers, trying to maybe pawn off some of your bets, especially if you're in rebuild, to try and stack up some of these rookie picks if people are scared, because I promise you this, when rookie draft season comes, you are going to net a very, very healthy profit. And anyone that sold out on those rookie first, they're probably going to come back to you and buy them back at a premium. And that's just a circle of life, man. There's like no way around it. I call it all the time. I think that the rookie draft picks are basically the investment equivalent of a U.S. Treasury bill, in that it's like almost risk free. I mean, honestly, it basically is risk free because the chances of it losing value are slim to none, and the chances of it holding or increasing value is like almost guaranteed. Every single year, it's like clockwork. It happens every single year, and I know people are gonna say this year's different, blah blah blah, but honestly, it's not. Like I don't believe that the 1 year extra of missed college play is going to impact the value of rookies. Now, whether they hit or not in the NFL, that might be a different story. Maybe it matters. I personally don't think it does. I think the only reason why the NCAA cartel has a 3 year rule is because they want to have these kids for suppressed labor, suppressed wages. And how they do it is through what they call student athlete, by offering a scholarship, a under market value for some of these students, and they get away with it. But honestly, some of these kids could just come in for 1 year, maybe 2 years, and just go straight to the NFL and be just fine. So I'm not worried about it. You shouldn't be worried about it. If anybody in your leagues are worried about top prospects not getting draft capital, if they're worried about top prospects losing value, if they're worried about any of this stuff, capitalize on it. Jump on it immediately, because this is going to be a great opportunity for you to net a profit in the long run. So just to recap, Antonio Gibson rocket ship price is going to be up there. So make sure you try and explore some sell opportunities that are available to you. Definitely throw out some feelers on Guice to see if you can get them on the cheap, because the risk reward is definitely asymmetric. So a lot of upside there for potentially a very low cost that I'd be exploring. And then finally, buy up all the rookie picks you can. If people in your leagues are scared about the 2021 rookie class, I promise you their fears are misplaced, because it is the safest investment you can make. And anytime you can buy rookie picks for a discount, I'm going to do it 10 times out of 10 every day and twice on Sunday. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope that was helpful. Make sure you tune in for this week's Bunkbed Breakdowns episode, where we talk about the top rookie fades. It was a lot of fun. We actually recorded it before this, so hope you guys enjoy that. Make sure you stay tuned for 5 Fact Fridays. We got the Q&A this week as well. So a lot of content coming your way. Hope you enjoyed. Follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the channel, and see you next week.